Hi guys, in this video we will understand our first C# program which we wrote in our previous video. So let's get started. So this is our very first program which we wrote. We will start by dissecting the code inside out. So let us start with the innermost curly brackets with the console.writeLine statement. Microsoft has already written a lot of code to help us developers in the form of classes. This is a common kind of code that every software developer might need. Things like working with strings, dates, or math functions. One good example will be finding out the length of a string. Microsoft has already written code to do this so that anyone else needing to find the length of a string they have defined can use it. This code written by Microsoft sits in a code library. So when we use the console.writeLine, which is to write something on the screen, it is using one of those libraries already developed by Microsoft. Similarly, there is a console.readline. After the message is displayed, we need to read a line from the console. So if I just run it again, the message is displayed. Now it is waiting for some user input. So if I just press enter here, execution of this statement will be complete. So the reason for adding this line was we do not want, so if we just remove this line from our code, so if I just delete this line and run the code, you will see the command window appears and then disappears because it displays the hello C# message, but it doesn't wait for any user input. So if I just type this command back again and re-execute the program, what it is doing now is after displaying the hello C# message, it is waiting for a user input. So if I go there and click on the enter key and the window closes because it was waiting on the read line. Both of these methods, either to display something on the console or read something from the console, we were reusing the code written by someone in Microsoft. The opening and closing curly brackets define a code block. It contains a set of statements to do certain actions, as in our case, it displays a string and then reads something from the console. This code block has a name called main, and this particular code block is called a method. So it is referred to as main method. A method is a block of code that has a name. This is the first method that is called when your application runs. So when we run this application, main is the first method which is called, and this method lives in another set of curly brackets that also has a name called program. It has a prefixed word called class. So if we see from the top down angle, all the methods they live in a class. We are presenting a very simplified view here, but we will know more about classes as we progress through the course. All this code again lives in another set of curly brackets, as you would have noticed, and it also has a name, and it happens to be the name of the application we gave in the beginning, hello C#. It has been prefixed with word namespace. Again, keeping things very simple for now, a namespace is another way to organize your code. If we see diagrammatically, this would look something like this. So From the top down, we have got a namespace hello C sharp, and then we have a class. Let me move this window so that you can relate to the code as well. So then we have the class called program, and then we have got a method in there. There could be multiple methods, so method 1, method 2, method 3. So this is how it would look in a diagram. So at the top level, we have got a namespace called hello C sharp, and then we have got a class called program, and method 1, method 2, and method 3. And then we have got this using system. The using system means that we can use classes from the system namespace. The system is another namespace which has a set of classes developed by Microsoft that we are reusing in our code. In our case, it is the console class that we are using. So we have got a console class, and in console there is a method called Readline that we are using, and the method has got an opening bracket and a closing bracket, and in this method we are also passing a value which is called argument to the method. Similarly, there is another method in console class, but it doesn't require any, or we are not passing any argument in this one, so we are just calling the method. Let me show you how it would look in a diagram. So this is our original program, namespace hello C sharp class program, method 1, and it has got, although it has got one method, so we have shown 3 methods here, just keep in mind. And when we say using system, so there is another namespace somewhere in C sharp installation which is called as system, and it has got a class name called console, and in there we have got a Readline method. Similarly, there is a Readline method, and there are more methods in that class. In our code, what we are trying to do is we are using that class to display something on the console. The using directive lets us use this namespace by declaring it in the beginning. Again, do not worry if something doesn't make sense at this point in time. We will cover the methods and passing of the arguments in details in the later videos. In C sharp, semicolon completes a programming sentence or a programming statement. So you would notice after each statement, if you miss the semicolon and try to run it, it will throw an error message. And if I click no here, it will say expected semicolon. So we need to complete this statement by entering a semicolon there. Couple of other things in the code, you would have noticed that C sharp very nicely indents the code so that we can see it properly. So we can see that this code block starts here and ends here. So you will see a little bit of gray shade in the background. And if I click here, it will highlight the corresponding closing bracket. So the indentation helps in terms of readability of the code. I would recommend you should always use indentation. So if I just copy this statement and press enter, it will automatically put you on the right indentation, and you can paste hello C sharp again, and you should be able to run this code, and it will also display this message, and you can press the enter key and it will close the window. Also, you will see different keywords are highlighted with different colors. The keywords like static, void, and class, namespace, they are displayed in blue, and some keywords are displayed in aqua, some maybe in the black. So it helps us to identify various elements of the code. Again, don't worry if something doesn't make sense at this point in time. This is what this course is for. We will learn more as we progress through this course. If you haven't done already, please do subscribe, share, and like the video. That really encourages me to create more. Thank you.